Hello, epic viewers from around the world. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting, captivating, stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What item will I be unboxing? What item will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What item is encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify, then I have to do that inquiry right here, right now, so bear with me. It will only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the item from the box and subsequently flaunt it in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go. The unboxing process is about to commence. It is officially underway. The box is going to be unraveled. The box is going to be consigned to the trash. The box is going to be relegated to the trash. But before I can do so, I need to render the contents of the box transparent. Of course, we have newspaper that was utilized to safeguard the item encompassed within the box. And then we have the illustrious Nintendo character known by the moniker of Diddy Kong. We also have a bag in the box, a couple bags. The box has no pragmatic use anymore. It served its purpose. Of course, it can be reutilized, but I'm going to neglect to reutilize it because I don't need it. I don't need it to clutter my life. So it's going to be discarded. Anyways, let's move on. Here's a World of Nintendo Diddy Kong action figure. Apparently he comes bundled with a banana accessory. Here he is. Here's the back. He's now mint on card, or near mint on card. I don't pinpoint any dings, or dents, or scuffs, or scratches on this figurine. Nothing really mars his appearance. He's practically in pristine condition. He's practically unscathed. So I'm gratified, I'm jubilant, and I'm buoyant that this Diddy Kong is practically in mint condition. So there's other figurines within this action figure line or within this series that you have the autonomy to buy if you so choose to. I'm not going to relinquish any more of my discretionary income on these figurines. Why not? They're roughly 4 inches tall each. We have a Metroid, Ganondorf, Luigi, the Blue Toad, and Samus. So there's a plethora of other figurines within this action figure line that you can buy at your own discretion. I'm going to forgo the opportunity to buy them. I would likely buy them if they were 6 inches tall, but they don't coincide eminently well with the 6-inch action figure line. I love the Toy Biz Marvel Legends. I also love the DC Universe Classics action figures that were sculpted by the Four Horsemen, or the Four Horsemen Studios Corporation. These figurines were churned out by Jakks Pacific, I think. I may be incorrect, but you can verify that for yourself. So I believe Jakks produces World of Nintendo figurines, or Jakks Pacific. Actually, I am correct. I just verify that I am. Trademark is right here on the packaging. Do you see? It says Jakks Pacific. My camera doesn't autofocus anymore. I disable the functionality. Yeah, but this toy's been produced by Jakks Pacific. Apparently they have the license to produce action figures of Nintendo characters. So let's just ravage the packaging, let's decimate it, and unbox a figurine. So here's a Diddy Kong. We have a twist tie. I need to untangle it. He's going to be liberated. Is he an inanimate object? Is he cognizant? Is he a hunk of plastic? I do not know. Everything that I know is cognizant. Everything I think I know is cognizant. So he may have a consciousness, for all I know. I'm relegated to discerning my environment by utilizing my 5 senses. I cannot see the world outside the scope of my consciousness. I cannot perceive the world outside the parameters of my 5 senses. So this character who I perceive to be an inanimate object, or this figurine that I perceive to be an inanimate object, may in fact be cognizant. It is an enigma whether or not he is cognizant, but I cannot know that because I cannot escape the parameters of my consciousness, at least not now. Not in this realm. Maybe in the future, right? We're multi-dimensional, infinite cosmic creators, or infinite cosmic beings, if you do not create. But you do create, you could materialize your own DNA and your own neurons, right? Because of neuroplasticity, and I believe it's called, what is it? Epigenetics. You're able to materialize energy. Tangible objects are just comprised of a myriad of particles, and particles are just fluctuations of energy vibrating at extremely slow frequencies. Hence, objects that appear physical are really consolidated forms of energy that are preordained to become liberated. But since energy can never be created nor destroyed, when the objects disintegrate, they truly just change form. But let's get back to meticulously analyzing this novel figurine. So earlier I notified you that his face is not impaired or marred with scratches. He stands roughly 4 inches tall, perhaps 3.5 inches tall. It's arduous to discern his height with no frame of reference. What else? He lacks articulation in the finger joints. He lacks an ankle pivot. He lacks toe articulation. He lacks a diaphragm joint. His tail cannot be articulated. There's no disc joint in his head. So it's unfortunate that he has under 20 points of articulation. The Toy Biz Marvel Legends figurines, some of them had over 40 points of articulation. This figurine has less than 15 points of articulation. I would just estimate 12 at most, but probably less. I wonder if it says 14 points of articulation. That's what it says on the back. I'm in an asinine blunder. And I'm always blatantly honest with my viewers. Let's see. Yeah, so he has 14 points of articulation. His cap is now removable. He looks akin to Diddy Kong from the Donkey Kong series. His appearance eminently emulates Diddy Kong from the Donkey Kong series. His fingers are semi-clenched together, so he can wield weapons if you can manage to squeeze them in these apertures. What else? There's a number on the back of his foot. There's an exorbitant amount of numbers on the back of his foot. So there was only a finite amount of these figurines produced. His shirt cannot be removed. You cannot detach any of his limbs or appendages or body parts. They're all intact. His joints are relatively sturdy. I wouldn't recommend tampering with them too much. You don't want to compromise the integrity of them. But this is a decent figure overall. For under $10, you really can't go wrong if you're an avid, devout Nintendo fan. I love Diddy Kong. This figurine can pummel his adversaries to death. He's nimble. He's agile. He's antsy. He's impetuous. Diddy Kong can charge into the fray of battle and terminate anyone within his vicinity. He looks like he's on the cusp of beating his opponents to a bloody pulp. Is he a violent monkey? Is he sadistic? Is he coercive? Is he malicious? Is he spiteful? Who knows? He looks a bit disgruntled, but I could be wrong. Is he imbued with rage? Is he imbued with passion? Who knows? This is a decent figurine though. I love his textures, I love his shadings, I love his hues, I love his aesthetics, I love his sculpt. I don't have any major gripes about this figurine other than the fact that he lacks finger joint articulation, he lacks toe joint articulation, and his accessories cannot be detached. I mean, his, yeah, that's what I meant to say. His, articles of clothing cannot be detached. He comes with one accessory. We're gonna open it right now, or I'm going to. Where the shell is that I lost it. Its location is an enigma. This was supposed to be a quick video. It's now taking ample time. Alright, here's accessory. What's inside? Here we go. Here are the bananas. They're bundled together. You can't really slide them into his hands, but I guess you could utilize them as part of a diorama if you so choose to, so it's always nice to have additional items. I prefer if the corporations didn't skimp on accessories, but if they do, there's nothing I can do. These bananas lack variations of colors. There's a lack of multiple color schemes on these bananas. It would have been intriguing and visually appealing if they were disparate colors, but that's not the case. They're consolidated together, they're amalgamated together, and apparently they're all painted yellow, unless I'm colorblind. So here's the Diddy Kong figurine once again. Overall, he's a high quality figurine. He looks akin to Diddy Kong. He has 14 points of articulation. He doesn't seem to be shoddy. He's just decent, or a high quality figurine for under $10 based on today's standards, which have diminished post Toy Biz becoming defunct. So here's Diddy Kong once again. The plastic packaging is vendor trash. There's no pragmatic use anymore. I can now flaunt this figurine on my shelf, relish staring at this figurine. I could take a gander at it every day of my finite life if I so choose to, and just relish adding this figurine to my prodigious action figure collection. I hope that you found this video to be enthralling and insightful. If you stumble upon this figure for under $10, then by all means pick it up. I procured him via Amazon. You could likely purchase him still on Amazon or eBay. But if you think he's not worth $10 or $9, then forgo purchasing him. You need to implement decisions based on your own volition. Do not let others persuade you or dissuade you into taking action. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.